If you walked into a corporate boardroom 10 years ago and asked how the company defined success, the answer would have been almost automatic. Growth, revenue growth, market share growth, user growth, geographic expansion. Bigger numbers meant winning. In 2026, that definition feels incomplete. Growth still matters, but it no longer stands alone as the ultimate measure. Across industries in the US, the new way businesses are defining success looks very different. It's less about how fast you expand and more about how well you endure, adapt, and generate consistent value in an unpredictable environment. The shift didn't happen because ambition disappeared. It happened because volatility increased. Over the past several years, companies have navigated inflation spikes, rapid interest rate hikes, supply chain disruptions, geopolitical tensions, labor shortages, and accelerating technological change driven by artificial intelligence. Each shock exposed a weakness in the old model of success. Rapid expansion without resilience created fragility. Aggressive hiring led to painful layoffs. Heavy leverage amplified risk. Forecasts built on stable assumptions collapsed under sudden demand shifts. As a result, businesses in 2026 are redefining success around durability. One of the clearest indicators of this shift is how companies talk about cash flow. In previous growth cycles, profitability could take a backseat to expansion. Investors were willing to tolerate thin margins if the top line was growing quickly. Today, free cash flow carries more weight. Companies that consistently generate cash, manage expenses, and protect margins are often rewarded more than those chasing high but volatile revenue growth. Success is increasingly measured by financial strength rather than sheer scale. Balance sheet resilience is another critical metric. Firms are maintaining healthier liquidity buffers and managing debt more conservatively. In a higher interest rate environment, over-leveraging can quickly erode flexibility. A strong balance sheet allows companies to invest during downturns, acquire distressed competitors, and absorb temporary revenue dips. That flexibility is now considered a competitive advantage. Operational adaptability has also become central to the definition of success. Businesses are designing cost structures that can expand or contract with demand. Cloud infrastructure replaces heavy fixed IT investments. Modular production systems allow phased expansion. Flexible staffing models reduce long-term commitments. The ability to adjust quickly is valued more than rigid long-term plans. Forecast accuracy has emerged as a surprising success metric. In volatile markets, consistently meeting realistic guidance builds credibility with investors and stakeholders. Companies that repeatedly miss aggressive projections are penalized sharply. This has shifted executive behavior. Leaders prioritize achievable targets over ambitious promises. Reliability matters. Technology investment is being evaluated differently as well. Instead of pursuing innovation for visibility or hype, companies are focusing on practical returns. Artificial intelligence and automation projects are assessed on measurable efficiency gains, cost reductions, or improved customer retention. Success in 2026 means disciplined innovation, adopting transformative technologies without destabilizing the core business. Customer relationships are another pillar of the new definition. Retention rates, recurring revenue streams, and long-term contracts are valued more highly than one-time sales spikes. Stable, predictable demand provides insulation against economic swings. Subscription models, service agreements, and diversified revenue bases are seen as strategic strengths. Workforce stability also plays a role. Companies that avoid extreme hiring and firing cycles protect morale, brand reputation, and productivity. Investing in employee training, cross-skilling, and sustainable workloads reflects long-term thinking. Success is not just about quarterly performance. It's about building an organization that can operate steadily over time. Geopolitical awareness has entered the definition as well. Businesses now evaluate exposure to trade restrictions, regulatory shifts, and regional instability. Diversified supply chains and multi-region strategies reduce dependency on any single market. This strategic caution is not pessimism, it is realism shaped by recent experience. Environmental and energy considerations also influence success metrics. Companies that secure reliable energy access and comply with evolving regulatory standards protect themselves from operational disruptions and reputational damage. In some industries, infrastructure access is becoming as important as customer demand. Perhaps most importantly, businesses are redefining success around optionality. Optionality means having choices: the choice to scale faster if demand strengthens, the choice to pause expansion if conditions deteriorate, the choice to shift supply chains, adjust pricing, or redirect investment. Companies that preserve optionality avoid being trapped by previous decisions. This doesn't mean growth is irrelevant. Growth remains essential for long-term competitiveness, but in 2026, growth is pursued within a framework of resilience. Executives increasingly ask, can this growth strategy survive a downturn? Does it preserve financial flexibility? Does it rely on fragile assumptions? If the answer is no, the strategy is reconsidered. Investor sentiment reinforces this redefinition. Markets reward stability and punish unpredictability. Companies with steady margins and conservative capital allocation often receive valuation premiums compared to peers with volatile expansion paths. The language used in earnings calls reflects this reality. Words like durability, discipline, resilience, and efficiency appear frequently. Success is framed as sustainable performance rather than explosive growth. Culturally, this shift represents maturity. The business world has experienced enough disruption to understand that chasing maximum speed can create hidden vulnerabilities. The new way businesses are defining success in 2026 is quieter but stronger. It values consistency over spectacle, strength over size, flexibility over rigidity. The companies thriving today are not necessarily the fastest growing. They are the most balanced. They manage risk carefully while still investing in the future. They protect cash flow while innovating. They expand thoughtfully rather than aggressively. In an era where uncertainty is constant, success is no longer measured by how high you can climb in perfect weather. It is measured by how well you can keep moving forward when conditions change. And in 2026, that ability to endure, adapt, and deliver steady value may be the most powerful competitive advantage of all.